If you are serious about what protein you use, then use what Jersey Jay-Z uses. Equip Foods Protein. Order yours now at equipfoods.com and use the promo code JerseyJZ for a special discount.
What up, everyone? This is Joe Zapata. We are live Thursday, and I'm here with the bodybuilding legend himself, Gregg Valentino. What's up?
What is going on, Joseph?
What is going on, man? A lot of things happening in the news since the last time we talked, but I want to tell you, tonight was kind of crazy. I almost had a fight in the gym tonight.
Really?
Yes, and I don't go that way.
Yeah, I know.
I don't go that
like
way, but when I
right.
get to the point, then I start going. So I had to train, unfortunately, at Planet Fitness. I don't like to go to Planet Fitness. I don't, but with time sometimes and where I'm at during the day and just with work, sometimes I need to crush and just go to the gym. I took Morella and her niece, and I was just working out. And I do a quick workout, run through the machines. It's close to Newark, so you can know the savages that are going to be at this gym now. You got it?
Oh, yes. I know
The gym is
Newark
close
very
to
well.
Newark. The gym is very close to Newark. It's on the border. So obviously those savages and bugs come flying over into Belleville. So we go to the gym.
You were in Belleville?
Yes, I was in Belleville, right on the border.
Yeah, right there. Orange, Belleville.
Right there. So anyway, working out really quick. And as I'm going, I'm doing some shrugs, and I see in the corner of my eye, I'm using like 75, 80 pound shrugs. And there's a guy, when I go in front and grab him, he's behind me, but sort of toward the left a little bit. And I guess he's using the mirror to like curl. And I got in front of him and was doing some shrugs. Okay. And he was doing curling, looking in the mirror. And I guess I was kind of blocking a little bit of his view for the mirror. And I didn't pick it up. And you know what? I would have said, I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm blocking your ear, but I really was just in a rush going, trying to get ready. And I saw him kind of go, and then put his weight down and took off. So I said, oh, okay, whatever. So as I'm walking towards the gym, I stop because Morella and her niece are walking, and I stop. And he's doing curls again or something in a mirror on the other side. And I just happen to stop right in front again where he is. But I'm not even looking at him. I'm looking at Morella and her niece coming because I want to say,
right.
He grabs me, taps me on the shoulder, goes, excuse me, I'm using this space like that. So I go, did I do something to you? Whatever. And he's like, you keep blocking my space. I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, it started at the shoulder press machine. Then you went over here when you did shrugs. And now here. I said, do you think I'm following you? Like, I didn't even know you. I don't even know you. And I said, look, I would apologize. I said, but I didn't mean to do it. But then the words started going, and he started getting that, that toughness, ghetto, attitude with me.
Was it black? Was it black, dude?
What do you think?
Okay, yeah. Newark.
What do you think? Yes, he was. Just to say, put it that way. So he's getting a little the ghetto blaster going, and so I was just like, bro. I said, you know what? If you got a problem with me, we could do it here. I don't care, or we could do it outside. I don't give a shit. I said, I really don't care. I said, but if you have a problem with me, tell me. I said, tell me now. He says, oh no. He goes, I'm sorry if I got a little bit attitude with you, but he was trying to break it down. And I said, look, and he was a younger kid, probably like I'd say 25, 20, but a typical look at the phone, look at the mirror, whole 9 yards, flexing.
A hood rat.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, look, whatever, go. We kind of ended off like, he was like, are you cool? I'm cool. And we shook hands. But it almost got to that point. But it almost did at the gym. And people kind of were like looking like, something's gonna happen. And I normally don't go that route, but typically
that's a bad neighborhood. Only in those kind of gyms though. I don't know why, but like whenever I'm in a bodybuilding gym, like there's really no problems like that. Like you're in the mirror or somebody's sitting on there. But you go to those Planet Fitnesses, and that's everybody, like the mirror, to setting up cameras.
All that bullshit.
I actually saw a video of my friend, a guy I'm really good friends with that's into bodybuilding. He's a little bit of a roughneck and everything. And He posted a video and it's himself in the gym. He must have put his camera down and went and took a video of himself. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's so unlike you, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but he was training in a Planet Fitness. I don't know.
Yeah.
That shit happens in those kind of places.
Crazy, I know. I don't know, and I wanted to bring up this other story to you. I don't know if you heard this,
Mhm.
but I think it was yesterday or day before. They took off the first air taxi from New York City, Manhattan, went from New York City to JFK Airport. Air taxi. I even have a picture of it to show you. The first air taxi went off when it made it from Manhattan to JFK in 8 minutes. Okay, here it is. I'm going to show you a picture of it. This is
Oh
actually
shit! It looks like a fucking.
yes, can fit up to 5 people. Okay, fit up to 5 people.
Holy shit!
And it's the first test flight they did under. I think it was 8 minutes it took. Can fit up to 5 people. Now the average consumer probably can't afford the tickets because it's going to be probably. But they said they're looking to go. The company's name is Joby. They're looking to actually make a commercial where like people like anyone can take a quick ride. But it's going to be expensive. They're saying
Probably businessmen. Like guys come into the airport, you want to fucking get to Wall Street. Dude, that looks like a fucking, what do you call them things? The fucking,
drones.
Yeah, it's like a drone.
Now
And that's electric.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't use gas, like any kind of fuel.
No, it's electric.
Well, I don't know, man. I would be really.
Would you do it?
Not yet. That looks too fucking fake to me. That looks like a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they did it. They did a test ride. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it because it was all over the news, especially in our area.
Usually, I watch it. I have the news going almost pretty much all day.
First test flight, and it went from Manhattan to JFK Airport and back. Did it in 7 minutes. Normally, drive that's an hour and a half.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hour and a half drive solid. So it's
wow,
pretty nuts, right?
And it went to Newark Airport from Manhattan.
No. From JFK, from Manhattan to JFK.
Oh, for JFK Airport, but still, that's Queens. Yeah, so you're still looking at that's a fucking ride, dude. Sometimes it'll take you fucking half hour to get one block in New York City. You know what I mean with that bullshit traffic. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I'd be, I'd have to make sure they iron the kinks. It's got to crash you a few times before, you know what I mean? Like they have to iron those kinks out before I go on there.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not getting on there anytime soon.
I'm in bad luck, bro. You have no idea. We'd be like, oh, I'd be that guy. We're on the Titanic. It's unsinkable. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Valentino was on that boat. I must have had an ancestor that was probably on that boat.
Let's say hello to some people in the chat here.
Yes.
Greg Hoffman, he says, what's up? What's going on? And he said, hey, Greg, I heard Alabama's blow darts are in another level.
That's funny, Greg, because you're talking about probably when I blew darts in that guy's ass. And I just told that story today on Iron Mag Labs with Big Frank. We were talking about like doing muscle worship and bullshit. And I told that story, you know what I mean? That was pretty fucking crazy.
Yep.
That's too ironic. If I thought that's pretty ironic because I just talked with it and it's a closed show. Like it's filmed, not live. So I'm talking about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. Dan, our man Dan says, what's up? 100. What's up, Dan?
What's going on, Dan?
Ron Simmons says, damn.
No, we didn't. We
didn't say that. James Kirkpatrick says, fellas, what's up?
James, what's up, brother?
Bruno Valentino says, let's go, Big Joe and the legendary Valentino.
Yes, Bruno, what's going on?
Our brother George says, don't go that way.
George.
We're talking about that, yeah. Skip, let's go. Skip, what's going on? What is going on, Skip? Silent 70. What'd you say?
That kid that I sent, remember didn't I put you on the phone with a kid from my gym? Remember he's a boxer and shit like that? He does kickboxing and shit, but he fought in
a garden.
He fought in a garden. He won.
Oh, won? Did he? Okay,
yeah, it was on television. I have that video. I could show you because I was going to hook him up with George if he wants to do.
Yeah, we'll try
because he's an up and coming fighter. Kid's a fucking savage, and he's the nicest kid. You would never know he's a boxer.
Big shout out to George Zapata. What's going on?
Yes, George is our boy.
Amanda, divorce lawyer, says, Greg, have you ever have to fight a hobo when trash diving? No. No,
I wouldn't fight a homeless guy anyway. Hurt somebody like that, I would feel terrible about myself.
See, E Maserati says, how you doing? By the way, the cancer of the country. Can we be honest? Well, we obviously talked about Greg, the dinner of Trump that was a crazy event being shot at, right?
Yes.
What did you think about that whole thing? I didn't get your take on that.
I mean, what's funny is the Democrats it's just sick how the liberals, I'm watching over here, Iran's playing us and all this other shit. Are you fucking kidding me? What Trump's trying to do is Iran's economy's done, right? I'll get to the shooting thing, but it's all related. Iran's economy's done. It's fucked. They're fucked. But what Trump is trying to do, he's trying to take the high road. He doesn't want to fucking fuck them up, okay? He's trying to give them every chance to fucking listen. Do what I say. Just put down the sword and we'll fucking take care of everything. But they don't want to do that. But he's hoping that there's an uprising in that country because that's Persian country and they want the Persians to take over. Now, getting to this shit, all this negative shit, now they're like, oh, but Trump says things like, oh, this one's asshole, whatever he says, right? But he's not calling somebody a Nazi trying to get somebody dead. You understand what I'm saying? He's not looking like if I would say to Jimmy Kimmel, well, maybe Jimmy, if I was Trump, I would have said, hey, well, you know what? Maybe here's a joke for you. Maybe you'll get shot right there on stage and your wife will, be a fucking widow too. Ha 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 ha. Like you give her right back to him. But by him fucking giving Kimmel that shit, listen, Kimmel was tanking. And then when he got like put in timeout for that little shit he said about Charlie Kirk, and he came back, all of a sudden his ratings went up because the liberals love that shit. Oh my God, he's fighting for us,
Mm-hmm.
But that guy, these guys, the guys like Trump's a pedophile. He's a rapist. Who did he rape? Did E.G. Carroll? Are you talking about E.G. Carroll? First of all, E. Carroll doesn't even remember, can't give a date, doesn't remember the store, doesn't remember anything. She just says, oh, he raped me in a fucking... Do you really think Donald Trump was walking around in a fucking, store in a mall? Oh, that girl's going in to get her fucking,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
Ugly, that, I mean, not for them, but Donald Trump's track record's pretty goddamn good, okay? You think that he's going to go in there and fucking, he raped her, and she waited 30 years, but she can't answer any questions about it? You know what I mean? It's all bullshit.
It is all
but
bullshit.
who did he rape? And what child did he molest? I got to know.
Well, Nobody.
You keep
ridiculous.
with the Epstein files. You keep talking about that. You fucking sick fucks on the left. They would have buried him if there was anything there.
Of course they would have.
If there was just even a little morsel that he did something wrong.
Yep.
Biden went. The reason why Biden didn't release the Epstein files is because all his friends are all over that shit. They're the ones going to the island.
Yep, 100%.
Come on, bro.
Crazy.
You convince these guys, though. You convince lunatics like this. They think I'm going to martyr my... Let me tell you something. The guy, John Wilkes Booth, when he shot fucking Lincoln in the head, he jumped off the fucking balcony, broke his leg, by the way, landing on the stage, but got up and said, the tyrant is dead. He said it in like Latin, like Tempest or whatever it was.
Say Semperis Fideris or something.
Right, which means the tyrant is dead.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe, he kept a diary while he was on the run. He could not believe that he thought he was going to be a hero.
Correct.
Oh God, people are going to love me, bro. I killed Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
They thought that they were going to hold him up as a hero. You understand? He didn't think like, wait, I'm the fucking bad guy.
Yep.
I'm the bad guy. So I believe that this fucking clown, has been these people so brainwashed. I see women all the time. Donald Trump's a rapist. He's a sexist. He's that. You people keep saying that shit. You know what I mean? He's a Nazi. Really? Well, he's Adolf Hitler. Well, first of all, his daughter's an Orthodox Jew. So he's the first Jew-loving Nazi. Okay. Second of all, how many fucking people did Donald Trump kill? I mean, did he keep him in a fucking cages and fucking, what he did? I mean, millions of people died from Hitler. He put millions of people to death. And you're going to compare that to Donald Trump?
Crazy,
Man.
Sick.
I don't know.
Crazy. I don't know. And in history, Donald Trump made a good point. All those people that have been assassinated or whatever, they've all tried to change the world. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King with the civil rights, assassinated. The Kennedys, everything. Charlie Kirk trying to speak, and Donald Trump is right there. They didn't get him, but they're going to make more attempts. I'm guaranteed he's going to be shot at least another 2 more times. Guaranteed.
Listen, they found out that. Literally, I watch all this shit. That the fucking Iran was literally, Iran, was literally 10 days to 2 weeks away from having their uranium go into fucking nuclear. And once that happens, and they get that nuclear fucking shit, They're going to attach it to a fucking thing. In first place it's going to go is Israel. Okay, it's going to go to fucking. They said they could easily reach Paris, France, and reach London, England, no problems. And they were
Mhm.
going to. And the next place, they have a space program. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Yet they've
that's
never been to
grand.
space. They use the space program. It's a shield. It's a bullshit. Okay, just like when you see these Democrats that start these, like, we're having we need $10 billion for transgender studies in Zimbabwe. Like what? You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Circumcisions in whatever puppet, whatever. Anyway, they're shooting missiles because they're trying to get. They shoot them up, right, and they're trying to get a missile that goes far enough to hit New York, and they're this close to that shit.
Mhm.
Okay,
100%.
it is fucking close. They hit that island. It's got a Spanish guy's name. I forget
Mhm.
the name. It's like Joe Mataraz's island, which is over 2,000 miles away.
Mhm.
They're like inches away from, and you know where it would hit? New York. And you know who would be fucked? You would be fucked. I would be fucked, and
Yep.
all of us, because it's a 50 to 100 mile radius. That shit.
Yep.
And we're all within a 50. I'm in within a 50-mile radius. Of
Mhm.
downtown, midtown Manhattan.
Yep.
You know.
Every president before Trump, they always said we have to deal with Iran. We have to deal with Iran. We have to deal with Iran. Now that Trump actually deals with them, he's the bad guy. It doesn't
But
make any sense.
it's just funny because Barack Obama gave them billions,
Billions.
not millions, billions of dollars, boatloads of cash, almost to bribe them. Like it's almost like when a kid, the bully in high school, he fucking, he picks on the kid, and the kid every day gives the bully $10. Here's my lunch money or whatever, and
Mhm.
some extras cash towards you, whatever, you know. Just don't beat me up. You think that makes the bully respect you? No. The
No.
bully says one day when I save up enough of that money from him, I'm gonna kick his fucking ass just because I don't like him. Well, that's exactly what they were gonna do. But Obama was a pussy. He was a coward, a pussy. He did nothing for black people. Oh, you black people, racism and everything. Well, what did he do? You had 8 years of him. You had 8 years of him. You're still crying the same shit. You cried fucking. What did he do for you?
Yep.
Nothing. Because
Mhm.
the only color he sees is green. You
Yep.
know.
100%.
Sorry.
Yep. Holly says, keep your butt out of Planet Fitness. They don't like our kind. They hate bodybuilders. That's
Holly's
true,
right.
Holly. Holly, you're 100% true.
Holly's
They
right.
do
I
not,
couldn't picture Raleigh, and imagine Raleigh. They would see Raleigh Winkler walk in there, and they'd be like, "Oh hell no," because they don't like
No, they
bodybuilders.
don't
You
like
know that, right?
bodybuilders.
When I was really really big, I went in there with a friend, and they were like, "Listen to me, we don't want any of that shit in here." And I'm like, "What?" They were even like no steroid stuff, and I'm like, "You think I'm coming to Planet Fitness to fucking like take steroids or push steroids in here?" I only
Mhm.
went there for one day with my friend because he was bugging me as a guest. I was like,
Mhm.
fuck that. That's
Yeah,
back. I was 278. It was fucking big.
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really good. Even James Turpatrick says, "So do I, Holly. Damn bodybuilders." Yeah,
They
they don't
hate
like the Planet
bodybuilding.
Fitness. They don't like it, and it's that they don't like their culture that we have, whatever. And the guy, I could tell was something was off.
Don't
He
don't their dumbbells only go to like 60 pounds or some
only
shit?
go to 75 because that's what I
Yeah.
was. I went up to. I was doing 75 because that's all they had, so I was doing 75. You know. What does
That's
it say?
ridiculous.
So V99 says this show overtook After Hours as my favorite show on YouTube. Well, thank you
Thank
there.
you. Thank you. We like that.
We like that. Greg, I wanted to bring up another thing that actually happened. Did you see in Spain? Now you know those rides, the slingshot. You ever see them?
Yeah. Yes, I shit my pants for watching people do
You ever
that.
see? I've done it before.
They have
Okay.
it at Seaside Heights. You ever do that? You did.
Yes,
Where'd you
I've
do
done
it?
it before.
There?
I did it in Florida when I bungee jumped. I also did it that too. So in Spain, they were doing it, and I have a picture of it here. It was going up, and the actual rope broke. The thing snapped. Okay, here is a picture
No
of it right there.
fucking
Rope
way.
snapped, okay, the people were fine, but how would you like to be the next guy in line, getting ready to go on that
I
fucking
want to
ride?
know, how are the people fine? You land first of all, in Seaside, they used to shoot it off the boardwalk, and
Yes,
people be like fucking hundreds and hundreds of feet
yes,
way out in the middle of the ocean. If
correct.
that thing shot, you would fucking shoot like into the mid. You'd shoot. Forget about it. You'd be
Yeah,
done. You
yeah.
drowned out there.
The people are okay, they said, but they are banged up. They are banged up, and
Well,
they're.
dude, you're way the fuck out. I mean, wait, you bungee jumped.
I bungee jumped. Yes,
Dude,
I
you're
bungee,
crazy.
I
Could never
bungee
do it.
jumped, and I did this slingshot thing. So
I've seen videos of people bungee jump off the ground. I'd shit dude. There would be a big turd like
yeah,
this.
trust me, when you get up to the top, from bungee jump. They tell you on the bottom. They say when you walk to the top, your money's not refundable. They tell you right away at the door because they know when most people get to the top, they're gonna be like, "Oh, fuck this," and they tell you, "You're gonna pay us the $75, but once you get to the top, if you don't want
Dude,
to
I
do
don't
it,
care. Keep the fucking money. I don't give a shit about the money. I couldn't do that. I'm
and
scared
when
of
you,
heights. I fucking
yeah,
like this.
when you get to the top and look down, you're like, holy fuck."
And
Holy
you
fuck.
said don't they push you or something like that?
They
Or
pushed me because he told me to go on the count of 3, but I didn't move because I was so scared. And then he said, "All right, put your hands on your side, and I'm going to count for you." And he goes 1, 2, and pushed me. And I was like, "You motherfucker!"
you're like, you
Then I
motherfucker.
could go up and down and everything, but
Wait,
yeah.
when you were bouncing like this up and down, you weren't shitting your pants? Like, were you like,
You know, falling the first time is like that dream you have when you're free falling. But once you get going up and down on the rope, it's not as bad, but it is there. But the first time you're falling, it's that dream, that bad dream everyone has of you just falling. It's scary. Your heart is in your fucking throat. You know, it's pretty bad.
I couldn't do it.
I would think I was 25 stories in a year.
Oh, fuck that. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
do
think it
it.
was, yeah, something about 20, 25 stories in the air somewhere when I did it. It was in Florida. It was in Kissimmee. That's when I did it. Dan says, Joe, what's your opinion on Jimmy moving to Florida? You think he's going to do it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. What do you think?
Maybe.
I don't know. Who
I
knows?
don't know.
I'm sure he's
There's
expecting.
factors that we're not going to talk about that we don't.
We can't
we'll see.
disclose some factors,
Yes,
but
there's factors. So we'll see. We'll see. We should do a big like a bucket bet. You know what I mean? Like who's
John Mancini, Jimmy Fallon, and the rest of Light Night should be fired. Exactly, John.
they're
That's
horrible.
another fucking one I hate.
They're
That
not even
Jimmy
funny
Fallon.
anymore. It's only about it's all about, you know, and all they do is put this country down and shit. They're like
Yeah, you
rooting
would
for
never see
Iran.
Johnny Carson. Johnny
They're
Carson would
rooting
never do
for
that.
Iran.
No, Johnny Carson would never put
Johnny
down
Carson
presidents.
was the best.
He would never put down presidents. He knows the line to draw. He never get political. Nope. But Jimmy Fallon, every opportunity he gets, he bashes the fucking every single time. You know, I don't know.
True.
That's fucking crazy, man. Oh, did you see, by the way, the price of Mets tickets now? You know how the Mets are right now. You can get a Mets ticket right now.
You go ahead.
For the price of a Happy Meal at McDonald's.
How much is a Happy Meal? Like 2, 3, 5? I don't know. I haven't bought Happy
Meals. $4.90. I think it's $5. $5.
Get the fuck out of here. You're talking about bleacher ticket, right?
No, they're even selling. You can even get like mid-tier tickets for like $6, $7 right now.
That's the biggest fucking. I don't understand the Mets. The Mets have the second highest payroll, higher than the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
they're right behind the Dodgers, and they have. If you look at their team is literally can match the Dodgers actually, and you know, they're that good, and they just don't gel. That's the problem. They gotta get new leadership. Somebody's got to get in there and start kicking some ass. You know, like the Yankees back in the day, you had fucking, you know, you had Jorge Posada and fucking Tino Martinez, who would actually fist fight guys and get in their fucking faces when you would loaf. They'd be like, "What the fuck was that?" Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Because the Yankees in the early like 90s, before they started winning, they had like Mel Hall.
Mel Hall.
Remember Mel Hall? He was a cancer.
Yeah, sure.
He picked on Bernie Williams, was a real jerk. When they got rid of him and start getting in good guys to gel, that's when like Paul O'Neill, when they brought in Paul O'Neill. I mean, that's when they started really going.
Remember that guy, Gerald Williams? What did he do? He went into Jeter's locker or something and he stole shit out of his locker.
That was Ruben Rivera.
Oh, no, Ruben Rivera. Yes. I'm sorry, not Gerald. Yes, it was Ruben Rivera.
Ruben Rivera.
Yes, because Gerald Williams was friends with
Jeter. They're best friends.
Made a mistake. Sorry.
Right. He's dead. You know, he's dead.
Who's dead?
Gerald Williams.
How did he die?
Cancer.
Oh, shit. I didn't know.
Yeah, young, very young. He died. Yeah, he passed away. But yeah, none of them, they're saying that like Lindor is a big problem in that locker room.
Not for nothing. But, you know, listen, let me tell you something about Spanish people. Spanish people are very conservative by nature. They're very into God, very into family. They're not liberal. Okay. But Lindor's wife is in Mondami's cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, right? His wife is in Mondami's cabinet. They're very liberal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You don't realize, even like with the Democrats, it's stupid. They let in all these people from like Spanish countries, Latin countries, and they don't realize that a lot of those people aren't going to vote. They're afraid to vote. They're afraid to go to this there. No, ICE is going to be waiting for me there. You know, if I go to, that's why they want to do mail-in voting, so they could just say, well, there's 1,000 people over here, so we're going to send in 1,000 ballots and just say, well, Democrat. You know what I mean? Because my girlfriend's whole family's illegal. None of them vote. The whole fucking family's illegal. They don't vote.
They don't go. They don't even know who's running.
Her mother's been thrown out of fucking the country. You know what I mean? You know, she just keeps coming back. She's like herpes. It just keeps coming back. You know what I mean?
Scooby-Doo Trend says, Greg, do you think if your girl pegs you, that's gay? Lee Priest said that once he did it on a recent Trend Twin collab. Said that he did one on a recent Trend.
Look, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Lee's crazy. He would do anything. If she pegs you, she pegs you. I don't know if you're into that. Joe, wait, put it this way. Who said that?
That was I forget who said that. That was a Scooby-Doo Trend.
Scooby-Doo. I got an idea. I don't know if you have a girlfriend, but if you do, have her peg you, and then come back and tell me, did it feel good? Did you spakim? Did you come? You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you do it.
Ruben Sanchez, what's up, Mobo?
Ruben, how you been, brother? You know we haven't seen Brian Pablo.
Yeah, I haven't seen Brian Pablo in a while. Where
he is.
Ruben Sanchez, is this Planet Fitness or Planet Fatness? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Planet Fatness, because they don't like bodybuilders going in there. They don't.
They never did. They never did. When I was jacked, they gave me fucking a hard time that one time.
Yeah, because I normally work out at Retro Gym. Retro's my gym. Sometimes I'll go maybe to Golds or Signature, but mostly Retro. But I do have a backup membership for Planet because when I travel so much, I could just pop in, so that's why. That's what I'm talking about. But whatever.
They are cheap too. It's so
yeah. Holly says I wouldn't even bungee jump for a donut, and I love donuts. Would you bungee jump, Greg?
Fuck no. You kidding me? You got to understand. I could be on it. Somebody in my family must have been on a Titanic. That's why it sunk. It's unsinkable, No way would I bungee jump. I got fucking bad. I live in a matrix where 2 and 2 isn't 4. It's some number we've never conceived of before. So no way. I'd be the one that fucking thing would break, and I'd be on the way down. I'd shit in my own. I'd be hit the ground like this on the rocks, and just before I die, my own shit would go right on my face.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't bungee jump. No, I don't like heights. I don't like shit like that. I wouldn't do that slingshot shit either. When I see that shit, those guys were going so far out over the ocean. If that thing ever snapped, they'd be out there probably half a mile out in the middle of the ocean, like this.
Yeah, yep. I did it too.
The fucking Jersey Shore, bro.
Yeah, when I did it, they shot me over, and the ground that I was flying over, they made almost like a graveyard symbol. So you would be looking down, so it looked like a graveyard, as if you were going to die.
That just even adds more to it. No way.
Like a little target, so it looks like, oh, you're going to fucking die. So they did it pretty funny. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
I have friends that are into all that. That fucking, my one friend who used to date Snooki used to fucking he jumps out of airplanes and shit. I'm like, bro, you're crazy. No way. He likes all that shit, parachuting and all. Not me.
Yeah. Let's see. Scooby-Doo Trend says, is it true that Dave wants Jimmy to move to Florida so Dave can have his wingman at the gay bar?
I think you got in a little, not much, but just a little bit of an obsession with the gay lifestyle there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't ask, did Jimmy want to peg Dave, or does Dave want to peg? I'm surprised. Where's that? That should be next.
Okay, we got someone who hates Trump here, and he says Hans Kopek or something says Trump will do whatever Netanyahu.
Yeah, okay, I'm so tired here. That whole Jew hate. The Zionists. They're right. Listen, Netanyahu is sitting back going, come on, Trump, just let me fucking, please, let me at those fuckers in Iran. Because they're ready. They're ready to fucking make it a nice big parking lot out there. You know what I mean? A desert parking lot. Park your camel here. Yeah. That's the stupidest shit. I'm so sick of people saying that shit. From the river to the sea.
Mm-hmm. Dizzy Willow says, yo. What's up, Dizzy Willow?
Let me just say, you're entitled to your opinion. You don't have to believe what I believe, but that's lunacy, all that shit. Yeah, Netanyahu's got Trump right here. If Netanyahu had so much control, then why did fucking he do shit when Biden was president? There's no control.
Yeah, exactly. James Kirkpatrick said, Dave wants Jimmy to move in with him so he can play darts.
No, Dave's a good guy. Dave likes Jimmy. He's his friend. And of course he would love it if Jimmy lived down there and they could have, like, when Dave comes here, he had the Sunday dinner again with me. We ate, I didn't make the dinner this time, but it was
when he come recently?
Yeah, he came it was a last minute thing Sunday. This past Sunday. Yeah, I would have called you, but it's the last minute thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem. John Mancini said, Joe, I saw on TikTok Ric Flair wasn't allowed at WrestleMania this year for some issues with a 24-year-old amateur. Yes, Ric Flair, WWE has sort of got rid of Ric Flair because he's a mess. I tell you, he's a mess. I see him at these shows.
Wait, when you say a girl, 24-year-old chick, or is it?
Apparently, he was messing around with some young girl and
He's
this
an
and
asshole.
that.
Like, I don't like it. Woo! I
Yeah,
don't know. This is
Greg,
fucking.
I dealt with him for the big event in New York.
Oh,
He's
that's right. You told me
he's
he
a
was an asshole.
he's a drunk, and he just doesn't. He does not care about fans.
Yeah,
That's wrestling fans. He doesn't.
fuck him. Fuck
It's
him.
he comes first. I told you the promoter of the show paid him. I think it was 15,000
Right.
to come and sign for 6 hours. Okay,
Shit. I would have wore a blonde wig and said
so
woo and signed for
you're
that.
supposed to show up at 10 and you leave at like whatever it is for 4 or 5, whatever, 4, like 3 o'clock, whatever. You can leave at 3. He first didn't even get there to noon, 1 o'clock. People are pissed off as it is right there. Okay. And he only signed for 3 hours and left. And the promoter's like, I paid you for 6. He said, oh, I got delayed. What are you going to do?
I'd say, well,
And the promoter was pissed. He lost, money. People, fans are upset because they paid for a picture and autograph.
and I bet she pays up front too. So the motherfucker,
Of course,
he
he
pull
paid
it
up
out of his
front.
pay. That cocksucker.
Put it right out of his pay already. 15 grand. Boom, here you go. For 6 hours.
I never liked that guy, Rick Flair. I never, even when he was wrestling, I never watched wrestling, but my son used to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I never liked that guy. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna tell everyone a quick story too. Ric Flair, it's true. I saw him drunk in the bathroom, and he was a mess. That's all I could say. But I saw him because I worked these big events. I had to pull him to the side and say, "Hey, Ricky, they need you back at your signing booth." Fuck him. I'll get there when I get there. I want to talk to this person. That's what he was. Okay, do what you want to do, Rick. I don't care.
He's lucky that promoter, he's lucky he's got the right guy. Because when you do that with guys who are like hooked up and shit, they'd send somebody in there to fucking put Flair's head in the fucking toilet and he'd say, now get your fucking drunk ass out there. Or you're not going to be able to, you'll never leave this arena fucking alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's so many wrestlers there that he wants to get up and see the other wrestlers and talk to them and be like smooth with them and everything. But the promoter's like, look, I'm paying you to sit here 15,000 for 6 hours to sign autographs. Okay. If that's what I'm paying you for. He gets up, walks around, woo, the whole 9 yards, drinking rum and Coke the whole time. He's like, Joe, get me rum and Coke. Like, okay.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah. Right. Natalia says, hi, everyone. Hey, Natalia, we haven't seen you.
Hey, Natalia, how you doing?
We haven't seen you in a while. The dude said, my Uncle Ramon, REP, was a jump master, airborne ranger. Did 4 tours in Nam, would say he would bungee jump with his cock pour a rope and his balls for a cushion. LOL. RP Uncle Raymond. I'm sorry about your uncle.
Yes, that's there are guys that are into that shit. I'm telling you, they like that thrill of that. They would think nothing of bungee jump. They do backflips off. They'll stand on that big rock and do a backflip and jump. Not me, bro. I'd scream like a girl in a horror movie. The rope would break. Like I said, I'd take a shit in midair. I'd hit the rock down here and die. As I'm dying, taking my last breath, my shit would finally land right on my face.
Wow. That's great.
Shit faced.
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
By the way, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Hulk Hogan documentary on Netflix, the new one.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it.
It's great. Really great, man. Goes through his whole life. I didn't realize, like I'm trying to have an interview with Nick Hogan, his son, on here. And I didn't realize Hulk Hogan was all jacked up on fentanyl, like a lot of fentanyl.
Yeah, I had heard stuff like that. I saw him in that, dude, before that thing he did with Trump. I saw him like a couple months before that. He was like, his kid got in a car accident or something. He showed up with the cops and he couldn't even fucking walk.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I see him over there a couple months later. It's like, I tell you, like I tell everybody, I saw that, I was in the gym in Gold's Gym. This is like 82, I believe. And then Lou Ferrigno was, on a machine next to me. This is before we hit each other's guts. And he was on a machine next to me. And I couldn't believe how skinny he was. I mean, he was a fucking beanpole. He had like, 16, 17-inch arms. That's it. And then that was like March when I saw him. March. Then I went back home I went to see the Night of Champions. He showed up at the Night of Champions. If any of you guys remember, that's when he was doing a movie Samson or Hercules or whatever the fuck it was. And he got up on it fucking, and this was like June, the beginning of June. And I was like this. I couldn't believe it. I had just seen him like 3 months before, and he was a beanpole. He was 275 at that show, and he was fucking jacked.
Wow.
He was jacked. His arms were back to being like 23, 24, ripped. his body, I couldn't believe. Like, talk about a hyper responder.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
One of the things Hulk Hogan, for him passing away, one of the reasons why is because he didn't rest after he had his surgery, because he's had 11 back surgeries.
Yeah.
So the doctors told him after they did this neck surgery, he says, you need to rest and be in bed and stay home. But he had this thing with the beer company he had. So he likes to go to these autograph signings and do this thing. And the doctors told him, you need to stay in bed for at least a month. And that's not Hulk Hogan. He wanted to be up and moving. And whenever he went to this event, apparently, he likes to stand up. He doesn't like to sit down because he likes to show his size, I guess. It's a mental thing with him. He likes to stand up and meet his people standing up, he says, so they could take a picture. But he doesn't want to be sitting in a chair. He says he likes to stand up and be professional with the person, show them respect. And that's not what the doctors want him to do. They said he needs to lay down and rest because he had his like 11 surgery. They said his neck was really fragile. Everything, him moving, that's too much on the neck. He needed to be resting. And sure enough, he got an infection. This led to other things, back and forth. Him flying, when you have surgery and you're flying, it's
man.
It's not good.
Listen, I always had the opposite. They would say to me, stop sitting down, stand up, stop sitting down, stand up. And I'd say, I am standing up. You get it?
I got
Stop
it. Man.
Sitting down, stand up. I am standing up because I'm short. It's also his lifestyle, though. You can't. It's not just because it's from years of doing that and years of fucking taking, like fucking all these drugs, like the fucking, and what's funny? These people that take like, Oxycontins and all this shit, right? Like, for pain. They don't just take one. They take fucking like 3 or 4 of them, and then a couple hours later, take another 3 or 4 of them, and a couple hours later, take another. Dave Palumbo was just telling me about somebody that we all know. You know what I'm saying? That is so bad with that shit. He doesn't know how he's alive. And I'm not going to say his name, but somebody we all know.
Yep, I know. I know. I know. Obviously, a couple wrestlers who were doing that. I know one wrestler.
Well, they're known for that. The painkillers, the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I know about that for fucking years. They're known for that shit. Oh, but I was always in a lot of pain. But they can't just say, well, take 2 Oxycontins throughout the day, one and one. They don't do that. They take like 5 or 6 and take 5 and that shit after a while. And then they got to take something to wake up, and then they take something to, and before you know it, mix a little whiskey with it and this and that, and before you're done, you're like you're this. Your blood is like fucking acid. It's like the fucking blood from like Alien and shit. You cut somebody and their blood drops and fucking burns a hole and shit because it's so fucking polluted.
Yeah, there was one wrestler, famous wrestler who is friends with me. He used to call me up all the time looking. He said, "Oh, Joe, I'll come on your podcast. Just give me a couple bucks so I could get something. I got to get something. I don't have this or that." I'm like, "That's weird, whatever." And he was using it for drugs, and he was taking like something like 50 to 60 Oxycontin a day.
Dude, I'm telling you, I know guys that do that shit. I had a friend who actually, this is so fucked up. He actually went to rehab and everything. You know what he was doing? He was taking ephedrins, but he was taking like 20 a day. Ephedrins. Do you understand, dude? I'm sorry, but ephedrin makes an Adderall's like, what the fuck is that? Ephedrin I love ephedrin. But if I took a half of a dosage, I'm flying, I get the fucking swimming pool dick, you go to pee and you're fucking like, and the little fucking drop comes up, beep, beep, because your fucking prostate swells. But I don't take it often. But if I have to take an ephedrine, like if I'm really fucked and I haven't got no sleep and I have to go in that gym, I'll pop an I don't even take a full dose. I take a half of a half, because the full dose is 2 pills. And I'm fucking fucked up. But it works. I'm telling you. But these guys live on that. My friend actually went to rehab. He was starting to hallucinate from ephedrine.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. John Mancini said, "Did you guys see the movie where the girls get stuck on a light tower?"
Yes.
Crazy. Yes, I did see some of that. Pretty funny.
The other girl with her, whatever, she was dead. She thought, yes, I saw that. She hallucinated the whole time. Yeah.
The dude said the documentary was good. The Hulkster did make a wish where in San Diego for my cousin. He gave us tickets to a wrestling show too. Nice dude. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was a nice guy when I met him. He was really nice. Dude, I can't complain anything about him. No. Greg Hoffman. Hulk Hogan and Dorian Yates used to glow stick battle each other at the Sound Factory.
No, they didn't.
Scooby-Doo Trent said, Greg, would you rather bang Michelle Obama or have Megan Fox peg you?
You asked that yesterday on I think on Joe Pietaro's show. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I don't want. I'd rather have Megan Fox over fucking. Who's that? Who's that?
Michelle Obama.
Over Michelle, but I don't want to be pegged, dude. But she'd try to stick that in my ass, and I'll throw a shit, and she'll fucking fly out like that.
Holly said, I told you I was never a dull moment in the country. I'm out here in the yard in the dark trying to help neighbor catch his bull. Wow.
Bull.
Holly, wow.
So you're in like farmland then, Holly.
Wow. She's trying to catch a bull. That's pretty fucking crazy. Unbelievable, man. What do you think about our Yankees, though? They're doing okay, right? By the way?
Well, yes and no. Yes, they're doing okay because they're fucking starting pitching. I still don't think they're hitting full tilt yet. But, they are doing good they are hitting home runs. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
George's could be doing a lot better with the bat. He's only batting 240. Last year at this time he was batting 400, but that's neither here nor there. What's killing me is the fucking Bednar closing and all the relief pitchers. Tim Hill's good. Other than that, they all suck. They all suck ass. I shit your pants every time somebody comes out there. Yeah, Bednar, the closer, fucking, he's Clay Holmes all over again. Comes the ninth inning, Yankees are up by 3 runs. Base hit! You're like, oh no, here we go. Here we fucking go. Next guy, hit by pitch. Now you're like, oh my God, here we go. Hit by pitch, base hit. Boom, next guy, base hit, run scores. Now it's 3-1. And then it's 3-2. And then you're sitting there,
Yep.
Every fucking game, the guy can't have a clean inning.
Nope. George Steinbrenner would be rolling in his grave if he heard what his son, I think it was his son, Hal. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I'm the one that said that. Where his son Hal said, I feel bad for the small market teams.
Yes.
Because they can't keep up with the big market teams. I'm like, what did you just say, you fucking momo?
Yes.
Is that why you're Yankees were always the highest spending team, not no more. And the thing is, they get these guys like, we got Joe Materazzi, he used to pitch for the fucking Padres 4 years ago, and he tore out his elbow, hasn't played in a major since, but we just got him, they take him off the shit pile. That's what they do. Get guys who are DFA'd. The reason why you're DFA'd from a team is because you're useless to them. You understand? They don't DFA some guy that's good. Once in a while, you can catch, like we got with Kerry Wood. You know what I mean? When we got him, and then he helped us win in 2009 World Series.
Kerry Wood.
But other than that, that was luck. And he pitched in the bullpen. He wasn't a starter. His whole life he was a starter. But I'm just saying, once Cole comes back, fucking, and then you got fucking Rodon, and then, Clark Schmidt's going to come back. You got a few guys. Then you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do with Will Warren, who I don't really particularly like, but he'd be a good bullpen piece. Louis Seal, bullpen piece. Bring up the kid LeBron, hey, shit like that. Yeah.
John Mancini says, Ariana Grande is in a new Meet the Parents movie I saw. Yes, she is. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw coming. See, I like the dark-haired, Ariana Grande. This one that's like that, and then blonde hair from the Wizard of Oz movie or whatever that shit. She looks bad.
Yeah.
I don't like the way she looks in it. She looks like a crackhead.
Yeah, Holly said,
like skinny, but
Holly said, yes, I'm so serious. Oh, I hope she's not wearing red, because I think those Bulls like the red, right? The red shirts come running after her. Is that what your mother-in-law is?
Unless she's talking about Raleigh, because they call them guys, the big guys, they're like bulls, and she's out there, Raleigh, get over here.
Yeah, Raleigh's a big dude, man.
Yeah, he is. He's a fucking big guy. I like Raleigh. He's always smiling and shit.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah,
let's see. John Scare say, how long have you guys been on? I saw the alert the show started, but I was taking my clothes off for sexy time, and about 5 minutes ago.
John, sexy time.
No, we've been on already for about 45 minutes. We're ready to wrap it up.
Walking in the bedroom with just a little fucking G-string on. Don't you think I'm sexy? And the wife sitting there, get over here.
Right back, 2388. Joe and Greg, great show as always. Any stories on bodybuilder, wrestler Don the Ripper Ross? He was an excellent trainer, had some unique training methods. He was awesome.
I met Don. He was a great guy, but I don't have any stories other than this. I remember he told me a story.
What he said?
I think I told this in the book before he died. In a book, the magazine. There was a story where he was saying that he was talking with Gary Stridham, right? And he said that Gary Stridham was in an elevator with his wife, and 2 black guys walk in, right?
Okay.
And Gary Stridham's kind of like old school and shit, and he's sitting there, and the black guys are like, that motherfucking cocksucker, fucking cunt, fucking, and he's looking at them, right? And they're looking at him, and he's like, excuse me. And there's a lady here, and they're just going on there kind of ignoring him. Fucking That fucking cocksucker's luck. I didn't fucking kill my motherfucking pussy, And he's like, and then they're throwing the N word around. Hey, you're that nigga, you're that NIGR, you're gonna do this, and they're going back and forth. Finally, Gary Strong's like, enough, that's enough now, guys. Come on, that's enough. And his wife goes like this to him, right? And he's like, what? And because now they're like, you got a problem? And he's like, this is enough, right? So she's like, telling him, let's go. All of a sudden, the elevator opens and she pulls him out. And she goes, you don't recognize that guy? And he goes, no, what was it? It was Mike Tyson.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and this is when he was in his prime. So he would have got killed. I think they were in Vegas or something. Don Ross told me that story. He was like laughing about it, you know what I mean? Because Stridham had told him, holy shit. He didn't recognize him. He didn't he just saw like these two black dudes and Tyson was probably that motherfucker, fuck him in his fucking ass, that fuck, you know what I mean? He was doing that kind of shit.
I knew though that when Don the Ripper Ross wrestled, he wrestled on the Ripper Savage and another name too. So Ripper Savage and Macho Man Randy Savage, who everyone knows, I think took part of his last name because Macho Man Randy Savage is really Randy Poffo. His brother's Leaping Lanny Poffo. But he used that, and then another wrestler, Vampiro Firpo, is where he got the personality from. So that's how Macho Man Randy Savage.
Randy Macho Man Savage. Yeah, but let me tell you something though. Did you know what his real passion was, right? Baseball. Nobody knew that, but I think
he was drafted by the Cardinals.
Leaguers and shit. He was like a minor league baseball. He wanted to play in the majors.
He played for the Cardinals. The Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals drafted him.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals. And they said he had a great arm. They said he had a great arm.
He was a big dude. I mean, it's just, people think like you see him as the wrestler, but a lot of those guys, when you see them out of character, they're totally different. And that guy wants it just like, who else is a big baseball fanatic and wanted to be a baseball player, but now he's a fucking UFC legend? Stipe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wow. He's also a fucking fireman for a living, right? Stipe. I can't say his last name. I like him though. But he's the biggest fucking Cleveland Indians fan. Oh, sorry, Guardians. We don't want to politically correct now. Yeah, but he's a huge Cleveland fan. He goes to the games and stuff, and he's like a really, really big. He was a baseball guy himself.
Wow. A lot of those pro wrestlers are normally either bodybuilders, football players, or baseball players, and then they go into wrestling.
I used to see him all the time back in the early '80s. He was competing. I'd be with Bob Bunny. He'd be competing in the show and stuff. It's going to national level shows, but he didn't have that. He didn't have it as a bodybuilder. Even though he looked jacked, and you guys see him like this. When he would pose, he didn't have the structure but he was a big fucking guy. Bro.
Yeah, he was, and I don't know what he was on Ultimate Warrior. Obviously, he took stuff, but they said he was not a good wrestler. Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig, he was not a good wrestler. Wasn't a really good worker. WrestleMania, whatever it was, 7 against Hogan, when they were wrestling for the title, Ultimate Warrior was in the first 3 minutes of the match. Hulk Hogan's working him and the whole thing. He was so tired and so built up. Ultimate Warrior goes, let's just end it now, the match. And Hulk Hogan goes, no, man, relax, calm yourself down. Let's keep working for the show, working the fans. Let's keep moving it. Ultimate Warrior wanted to end the match. And Hulk Hogan told him no.
The reason why I keep telling you guys, you don't understand. Big muscle means gas easy.
Yes, and he was gassed.
Told me, you watch these big guys, these fucking bodybuilders on stage, the bigger they are.
That's exactly right.
From doing the most muscular pose. Can you imagine you're in there fighting some guy, he's coming at you and shit like that? You have no idea. The average fight lasts less than 10 seconds if you're on a street and shit. And you know how you're breathing on that? You can imagine. Just imagine.
Yep, it shows you
because he was gassed. That's what it is. He couldn't fucking breathe. It was like, just all right, just put me down, like that. But it's.
Yep. It shows you how the wrestlers, and I'll give you an example. Ultimate Warrior, big jack guy, was gassed out of his lungs, couldn't breathe, right? Goes in the locker room, and a wrestler, Cowboy Bob Orton, who has no build, but just knew how to wrestle, is back there, just had a 40-minute match, and he's back there smoking a cigarette.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Smoking a cigarette, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And Ultimate Warrior can barely breathe. He's like,
It's conditioning. What do you think makes Diaz? The Diaz brothers. They can go 10 rounds. They don't get gassed like that. They don't. They never get gassed because those guys ride bikes all day, run. They do fucking Ironman shows, where they got to swim and do all that shit, and they're not jacked. That's what you get these big jack guys, and they're gassed quick.
Yep, 100%. What we got over here? John Mancini said Brock Lesnar played football too. Yes, he did. He actually played for the Vikings too for like a
But there's another one. That's how you beat him. Let him fucking wrestle you, fucking jump around for a minute or two, and he's gassed.
Yep. The dude, we got Bush. Sorry, I was MIA the past 2 weeks. I had surgery on my left knee. I tore my meniscus, but I'm healing up. Thanks, Joe and Greg. Well, I hope you get well, man.
That boy, the dude. That a boy.
Get
Good
well,
luck.
sit down, relax. Do your rehab.
Yeah, take it easy. Watch us make fools of ourselves.
Let's see what he says. Greg, John Scuderi said, Greg, what percentage black are your kids? Mine came back 12 and my ex came back 26. Her dad was a light-skinned LOL.
Well, I don't know I mean, it's percentages. Their mothers, my ex-wife is half black hair. Her father was black, and her mother's white. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And her father's father was born into slavery. Now, remember, her father was 70 years old in the 19. He died like 1969 or 1970. He was already in his 70s, so he was born in the 1800s. Her father was older, a lot older than her mother, and his father was born into slavery. So my kids actually have slave blood in them, but that their mother is mulatto. My ex-wife is mulatto.
Wow, that's crazy. Yep. Wow,
so
I know. Thinking
black.
If you and Lucia had a child because of your mother-in-law, your kid would be
God, if she ever
looked would be half of Bigfoot. Well, you had quarter.
Half alien. I would be like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to see that shit. You know what I mean? I'd be afraid of what would come out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be like the fucking movie with what's his name, Schwarzenegger with a Quado. You remember that fucking You remember that thing that came out of the fucking? You have to put it back. What was that movie?
Aliens, right? When it came out of the stomach.
Yeah. No, not Aliens. The one with Schwarzenegger, where the guy had that fucking. I don't remember the name of the fucking movie. Running Man or whatever. Not Running Man. Not Running Man. The one where he's in an outer space fucking thing, and remember the guy opens up his jacket and the thing comes out. It's like a fucking freak.
Total Recall.
Yeah, that's it. Total Recall. Yeah, no. Remember? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like
I remember. Yep.
Some people have this like twin or something like that never really fucking developed, so it's like sticking out at them.
Yeah, Dan said half Bigfoot.
yeah, half Bigfoot. You're half right, Bigfoot. Dan.
Yeah, exactly. We got what we said. John Mancini said, Ultimate Warrior was my favorite wrestler. Yes, Ultimate Warrior was. A lot of people liked Ultimate Warrior, but he was actually kind of a jerk, really. He didn't really connect with fans.
They liked him because of his build. He looked different and everything. There was a lot of big jack guys, but he was like big and ripped. He had like very muscular, I think that really was a big appeal to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. John Scalzeri said it's about controlling your fight or flight too. You got to remain calm. Notice the bros are always calm, super calm, and losing a ring slow heart rate.
Yes, that definitely factors in, John, 100%. But if you're super jacked, it just calls so much blood. Even Dave, when he was like, when he was like really big, like 300 something, he'll tell you. I mean, like you snore when you sleep. I was 278 pounds, 5'6" on a good day, right? And I'd be breathing in we'd go to movies with my girlfriend, and she'd be like, and I'm like, what? And she's like, you're fucking breathing like, and you don't even know. You know what I mean? It's because you go to tie your fucking shoes, and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, holy fuck, I almost fainted,
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's not made, the human body's not made to carry that much muscle, and it's not good. Muscle calls blood flow, fat. The reason why they could do fat suction and like fucking take like gobs of fat out of you is because there's not a lot of blood flow, blood vessels in fat. But in muscle, it's loaded with blood vessels, lots of blood flow.
Yeah. Exactly. And when you're that big and with bulk, it's not good for you. That's why Andre the Giant knew he was going to die young. He told Vince McMahon.
Well, he had like gigantism.
He did have that too.
Well, everything inside him was fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with growing and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean,
But being big and stuff.
Imagine his colon. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine if he fucked my mother-in-law.
Oh my God!
What
creature would come out of that?
Oh my God, Joe! I never thought that would be one ugly fucking. I don't even know if it would be. It wouldn't be human. I don't know what the hell it would be.
Oh no, man! Their kids would be. Whoo!
It would probably come out of her ass. It wouldn't even come out the vagina. It would come out the ass.
Probably, and we'd have to figure out.
Oh, and that's a big ass too.
We'd have to check Guinness Book of World Records and see if there's anything. Reclassify a new human. I don't know.
It would be like that thing from Aliens. Remember? I don't know when it came out. At the end, it's like this.
We'd have to. We'd have to get ice in the grass to figure out what kind of species this is.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine, man.
Oh my.
Warrior, Dan said Warrior's character was cool. He definitely brought the energy. He did. Ultimate Warrior brought a lot of energy coming to the ring, running, shaking the ropes, and all that bullshit.
Yeah, of course.
But he didn't have a personality with the fans, according to Hulk Hogan in the documentary too. The documentary said that when they would do these Make-A-Wish foundations, like the kids would be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he'd be like, "Good." You know, he wouldn't be, you know, the character. Like Hulk Hogan would say, "Hey, you doing, brother?" And
he's like Bad Santa. How the fuck you think I'm doing? You little fuck, get out of here.
Exactly.
Next.
Exactly. You know, but you know, Hulk Hogan said, you know, was talking about the Ultimate Warrior. Hollywood said, "Poor baby, half Bigfoot."
Oh my God, it would be really bad. You have no idea, Holly. We'd have to send that to a lab and like get it like fucking dissected and shit, you know?
Yeah, we definitely do. Come out with like 6 fingers and
Ugh.
you know, oh my God.
God, she would fart and it came out. Oh my God.
Gregory DeBarro, 2865 says, Greg, everybody that watched After Hours know who you're talking about. He seems like a good guy. I wish him the best.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, I do. But the person that they're talking about, I actually love, and he's a great guy.
Yep.
Some people have the monkey on the back, though.
Yep. John Mancini, hopefully she will be on the next Monster Quest.
And by the way, whoever said, yeah, she would be. Dude, listen, I got to tell you something. When you watch these shows, my friend, who's the producer from Jersey and stuff, he did Monster Quest, and he the one where they had these snakes down in the fucking wherever it was. He told me they would throw the snake and shit like that, you know, and then they drive on like, oh look, there's one off the side of the road, you know, like a lot of that shit's planted. Like,
yeah,
he told me this, you know what I mean? He did Monster Quest, you know, they're looking for Bigfoot, you know. It's all like, you know, they'll be in the woods and they'll be like, look, this fucking tree is broken this way. If it was broken that way, you know, but now, you know, the only person I told you that I don't believe that there's Bigfoot, because he didn't say that there was a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot did exist. Okay, I've seen her. She comes to the house every once in a while, but she's 4 foot, whatever. But the real Bigfoot is like 10 feet fucking tall, and it was Gigantopithecus, but it died off like fucking, you know, 10, 20,000 years ago. There's, you know, if you look up Gigantopithecus, that's Bigfoot. But it's there's no carcasses. It's not it doesn't. The only person I told you, I talked with Les Stroud. Me and Joe Pitaro did a story, you know, did a whole thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really cool. He was telling us all about, like, he's got fucking, like, you know, parasites in the roof of his mouth and shit from eating all, like, shit out in the ground and everything. And he said he was in the deepest part of the forest. And he said there's no human beings for miles. I mean, for long. You know, this is, like, way up in, like, fucking Canada where there's no humans, you know. And he said he was one time he was at night and he heard this, like, you know, big thumping noise. And then he said all of a sudden, a rock came flying by his head and hit off a tree, you know, and he was like, "Who's out there? Is anybody out there? Who's out there?" Next thing you know, about a minute later, another rock came flying over, and he said, "I can't say for sure that's like a Bigfoot." He said there was no humans. I can tell you that, you know, and he did say, like, you know, he don't know how that rock came flying. There was no mountains where it came rolling off and fucking but he himself has never seen a Bigfoot. So, you know, I told him, come to the family reunion and you will see one. You're going to be depressed though, because it's only this big, but you know.
People are going to come over to your house and see your mom, and then you know what's going to happen.
Matt,
they'll be
with that. What'd you do? Push your button?
Yeah, push buttons for screaming.
Oh shit, that was pretty good, Joe. You know, it's funny. So she's like fucking, you know, 4'10", and you know she's got a size 15 shoe. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty big.
John Mancini said, I wonder if Greg has a photo to show us of his mother-in-law.
Oh, I got photos. If I show you a photo, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, be careful. Your screen might crack, but just be careful, boy.
I am in trouble.
She said, John Mancini said, she's a new species like the movie Blob, LOL.
Yeah, she needs to be sent to a lab and dissected.
Yeah. So when, God forbid, and when she passes, are you guys going to freeze her body for science, or what are you going to do?
I might have to. Maybe I might win a prize. Like I'll just freeze her body, and then we'll go. Like we'll take it and drive up to like Canada or something. And say, look what we found in the ice. This thing is prehistoric. Look at the beard on her. Look at the beard on her.
travel around, travel the circus.
Does she have balls? That's a big hairy fucking. We don't know what that is. Gobs of fat. We don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Or travel around the circus with her.
We should just say we found her in the ice. It's somebody that's probably was frozen for like 10,000 years. Look at it. Look at the skin. It's all bloated.
Yeah, not found by ice, found in the ice.
Found in the ice. I'll just say we were fucking camping and we fucking, I don't know, we were out there on the ice and we saw this thing sticking up and we realized, holy shit, this is something prehistoric.
Yeah.
You know?
Not the ice agents for all the
No, I say, look, she must have died slowly because she did have so much hair on her. It acted like a fucking woolly mammoth. You know what I mean?
woolly mammoth. Yes, exactly. You could tour
Maybe
it.
That's what it is. Maybe we'll sell it off as like part woolly mammoth, part human.
Yeah. You ever see those traveling shows where they do like the largest guinea pig or whatever? Like the largest,
The freak
snake,
stuff.
with the snake woman or whatever it is.
I saw one with its largest rat. Meanwhile, you looked over and it was like a capybara, because it is a rodent, but it's a capybara. I'm like, dude, that ain't no rat.
Yeah.
No.
And I saw like I went and it was a bearded lady, but you were like, okay,
dude, we see them all the time on Fox News. They're protesting.
Yeah.
Trump's a Nazi.
Holly says he didn't have a personality with his wife either. He treated her like crap. I don't know who he's talking about.
She might be talking about what's his name there? Jim Hellwig.
Yeah. Bruno Valentino says, don't show the photo. Nobody needs to see it for their own well-being.
You guys won't be sleeping at night then. You'd be like,
you guys have nightmares every night if he shows
especially if you live near woods and shit. You'd be like, wait a minute, what's that noise?
Dan said, man, we're going hard on Gregg's mother-in-law. No, she goes hard on Gregg.
She's got a heart on right now, probably. She's a nice guy.
Yeah, she's a nice guy. Dan says, we found her the ice.
We found her in the ice. We'd say that. We'd probably win awards and shit. They have those National Geographics. Look what came out of the ice. Part fucking woolly mammoth, part human.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Skip says, I found a half-frozen lamb at work today, having a bottle fed it every 3 to 4 hours. What a trip.
A half-frozen lamb. Did you cook it and eat it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat lamb.
Yeah, John said that's a state fair. That's what the state fairs we bring them to.
I'm over there. I'm like, okay, let me see this fucking, because they're like, it's a rat the size of a German Shepherd. I'm like, yeah, okay, let me see this fucking thing. I've seen big rats in New York City at some of these fucking Spanish chicks' house I used to go. And then I'm over there looking, it's a fucking capybara. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
You motherfuckers.
Yeah. I went in there, they said, look at dancing chickens. And so you would go in the room and you have chickens and they're like jumping like that, but underneath their feet was like a heated thing.
Oh, I know, that's so fucking horrible.
So that's how it would make them move real quick. So it's like,
cruelty.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
Fucking shotgun them and shit. You know what I mean? I don't like seeing that shit though. I don't like seeing it.
Bruno Valentino, what are your thoughts on Prince Charles coming over for visit Trump in Washington?
I really don't give two flying fucks. I'm not like a Prince Charles fucking person. I don't like care about any of that shit. Really, to be honest, if you want to know the truth, I mean, he fucking dumped what's her name for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this Di wasn't a bad looking girl.
Yeah. Did you see how Trump was like, I couldn't get the Democrats to stand for anything, and they keep saying no kings, but yet they stand for a king.
He's right.
Right.
First of all, if he was a king and they're standing out there fucking protesting, they do what Iran did: wipe them down, take them all out. Think about it. That's why. Think about why Iran. All those people were, that's why they're not fucking uprising right now, is because they fucking killed the 30, 40,000 fucking uprising. They think it's even more than that, could be double that. So the people scared shit.
Mm-hmm. The dude said, hey fellas, have ever y'all drank expired protein? If so, what's the worst that can happen if I bottle and it's about a year overdue? You think it's safe?
You're pretty much okay. Yeah, I mean, smell it. If it smells okay, if it smells rotten, I mean, if it's been sitting in heat and shit like that, it might not be, in moist heat, it might not be too good, but I don't think it's a problem. I've taken expired shit before.
Yeah. John Mancini wants to know, is Gregg's mother-in-law going to Alabama? Well, how would you get her there? I mean, you'd have to tow her, probably.
No, she'd just wind up showing up like that. You know what I mean? Like,
to get her on the mule? You get her on her mule and take her there?
She's like the La Llorona. She come to you in your bad dreams. The Spanish, they believe that La Llorona. You know who La Llorona is? The evil demon woman that comes in your dreams and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Skip said,
what? Oh, okay. Sorry, she's looking for a kid. She's just a regular woman. She's still a fucking demon. She kills people. Liar Roman.
Skip said, I
All
drank
right.
some expired protein a few months ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and chucked up my guts. Okay, well, that's what happens.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said.
It could be, Skip. It could, he might be right. Maybe drank it with milk. I don't know. It could. Again, if it smells funky, don't fucking take it. But I've taken fucking expired protein before. It hasn't like fucking done anything to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave sometimes gives us guys.
Yeah, that's how he was. All right, guys. Well, we've been over an hour. Actually, we went over an hour. So
I can't believe it goes so fast. I do these other shows.
Yeah. Want to thank everyone. Skip, Holly, John, everyone, the dude, John Mancini, Dan, of course, everyone in there, Greg, Ruben.
Thank you, all you guys, man.
We appreciate all you guys coming with us every week to have a little fun. Greg, I will talk to you in a little bit, my brother. Love you.
Okay, I love you, bro. Have a good one. Thank you, guys. I love all you guys, man. Keep it safe.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body builder coding. Beings on the course.